59. That is the age of Navadius Demon Wilburn, aka Future Hendrix, aka Plutoski. Just kidding. He's only 40 years old, but 59 is the number of songs that this 40-year-old has put out in the last 6 months, not including features. 15 plus years into his career, this 40-year-old man has put out 39 projects and 3 in 2024 alone. For that, he deserves a virtual hug. So if you're watching this on a computer, wrap your arms around it in honor of Plutoski and show him some love. But with that being said, with 3 projects this year alone and almost 40 in the last 14 years, is it time for Future to slow down? Are we witnessing a bad case of oversaturation? Or is this one of the best runs we've seen in hip-hop history? Well, let's break it down.
There's a lot of little nuggets in both of their disses that if it wasn't for these breakdowns, and salute to, guys like this, Rapaholics, because I think they directly get it.
At the time of this recording, Future's on pace to break some insane records with his latest release, Mixtape Pluto. Songs off the mixtape occupy every position in the Apple Music Top 10, making Future the first artist to occupy the entire top 10 of Apple Music charts with only solo songs. He really took J. Cole's accomplishment of going platinum with no features to an entirely new level. On top of that, this mixtape is pacing to hit #1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart next week. This would make Pluto the first artist in history to have 3 #1 albums in the span of 6 months. It's about to sell 120,000 copies in the first week, which is great for Future and great for hip-hop as a whole, considering 90% of rappers today are selling less than 25,000 copies in their first week of release. It shows that people are still as excited for Future music as they were 5 years ago. Scratch that. He's selling as much in the first week as he was selling with his album that came out less than 5 months ago. Now, we've seen monstrous runs, no pun intended, in the past, but Future is bringing us into the future, no pun intended again. Back in 2006 up until 2011, Lil Wayne dropped 6 albums, 5 mixtapes, hundreds of features, and hundreds of leaked records in less than 5 years. And he sold 1 million copies in the first week multiple times. So it shows that hip-hop embraces insane amounts of quantity from the greatest artists within the genre. But look at what happened to Lil Wayne after. He dropped less music in the next 10 years than he did during his monstrous 5-year run at the top, and he sold less and less with each album. Now obviously sales don't measure quality, and I'd argue Future's best work came in the form of free mixtapes that he wasn't even selling. But with project after project, we've seen Future perfect what works, not necessarily embracing massive shifts of innovation, but instead substituting evolution for a flood of music focused on what he knows how to do best. But with the 3-project run that we just got, I can't help but look at if Future has been improving on what he does best compared to the last 3-project run that we got from him in 2017, and then looking even further back and seeing if that 2017 run was better than his 4-project run from 2015. And if it's not, should we be celebrating the massive quantity of work that we've gotten from Future in the last 6 months? Or should we be asking Future to maybe focus on the future a little bit more by taking his time and making sure his next release is his best release, rather than a less inspired version of something we've already heard? But this recent project is titled Mixtape Pluto for a reason. It's not a cinematic, big budget project like his collab tapes with Metro Boomin. It's not a concept project like a 56 Nights, where the tape was centered around his DJ, Esco, getting stuck in a Dubai prison for 56 nights. It's not a Beast Mode 1 or 2, where Future's locked in with one producer to lock in a particular pocket. This is a big blend of everything that embodies the persona of Mixtape Pluto. The repetitive hooks, the dark production, 808 drums, out-of-this-world flows, no features. This is for the fans of 2010 Future. It feels like a project that belongs on DatPiff. And in a way, that's a great thing. Future's definitely found comfort in this pocket, and this isn't a cash grab. It's obvious it's a pure expression of his emotion, energy, and lifestyle. But again, we have seen a lot of the qualities of Mixtape Pluto done better on previous records. The pain on I Lost My Dog felt more captivating on a 2010 cut like Deeper Than the Ocean, or a 2017 cut like Fez Did a Sweep. The featureless tracklist was more entertaining on concise projects like 56 Nights or Beast Mode, or even on his longer tracklist like his 2017 self-titled album Future. The bangers were more hard-hitting on tracks like 56 Nights, the repetitive hooks were more infectious on Same Damn Time, or Mask Off, or cuts from his 2016 mixtape Purple Rain. The flows as well. It's apparent Future studied what worked on those mixtapes and incorporated it into this project. But is there anything he did better here than he's done in the past? Southside, one of the executive producers of this record, said this was like a sequel to Future's legendary 2015 mixtape 56 Nights. But if that was the case, where are the anthems like March Madness? Where's the energy that we got on tracks like Never Gonna Lose? Lil Wayne, the mixtape king, said himself that 56 Nights is the best mixtape of all time. Does Mixtape Pluto hold a candle to any Pluto mixtapes we've heard in the past? Now, it's only been a week, and I do often find myself loving Future projects more as time goes on. They're growers, not showers, no Diddy. On the surface, this is something we have heard before. And that's the same way I felt in 2017 when he dropped his self-titled album Future. But over time, songs like Feds Did a Sweep, Mask Off, or I'm So Groovy stood out as some of the best performances in Future's entire catalog. Maybe the mumbling on the hook of Plutoski will hold that same feeling for Future fans in the future. But even then, I find the mumbling on I'm So Groovy more engaging than the laid-back, blatant lack of the English language found on Plutoski. It sounds like a devolved version, or a less evolved version, whatever the term is. Now again, this project isn't Future seeking to reinvent himself. It's a reaffirmation, a reminder of why he's been at the top for so long. He's not here to replicate the highs of Monster or DS2, but instead to refine what he does best. The music itself is very much a familiar blend of his signature elements. Deep, thunderous 808s, moody melodies, and his distinctive voice cutting through the haze. It's a mix of innovation and comfort. It's a project that feels true to self, stripped of features and bolstered by production that's as cinematic as it is club-ready. Lost My Dog stands out as the project's emotional core, where Future mourns the friends that he's lost, bearing a vulnerability similar to Feds Did a Sweep, Deeper Than the Ocean, or Where My Twin At. Ironically, on a project full of subject matter related to drug consumption, this song almost takes the role as the antithesis of the project's overall theme, which adds to the essence of it being a sporadic, scattered stream of consciousness rather than a focused, ambitious improvement to what's been done from Future in the past. And right after that track, we're right back to the bravado with A-Say Gang, and the emotional introspective cut like Lost My Dog is sandwiched in between that and the track Oath before it. This duality, the tension between reflection and hedonism, defines Mixtape Pluto. It's a tug-of-war between the man and the myth, a juxtaposition that can be seen as either a flaw or a strength, depending on your perspective. Yet, for all its strengths, the project treads familiar ground. There's no revelation here, no jaw-dropping moment that redefines what we know about Future. He's perfected the formula of heartbreak, excess, and regret, but one can't help but yearn for more risk, more uncharted territory. For an artist who has reshaped the genre time and time again, this feels almost too safe, too comfortable. But maybe that's the point. Future, at nearly 41 years old, isn't trying to recapture past glories or challenge the crown he's already earned. Mixtape Pluto is a testament to his consistency, a celebration of the kingdom he's built rather than a quest for new conquests. It's as polished and powerful as we've come to expect, but the hunger, that raw, urgent energy of his earlier work, feels slightly dimmed. In the end, Mixtape Pluto is exactly what you'd expect from Future in 2024. A finely tuned, expertly crafted project that plays to his strength without really breaking new ground. For longtime fans, it's a reaffirmation of his greatness. For those looking for the unexpected, it might feel like more of the same. Still, in an ever-shifting landscape, Future remains a constant, a legend refining his legacy with each release. Now, we got a little scale that I'm going to use to rate albums going forward. You got the Fantanos who rate albums out of 10, other people do tier lists. In the Rapaholics community, we're going to focus on 6 W's, okay? Because just the fact that we're getting new music from our favorite artists is a W in and of itself. So we're going to keep it positive. But this scale goes from the highest W, which is wonderful, or as Future would put it, sensational.
Sensational.
And this is like a perfect 10 out of 10 soon-to-be classic project. Now right under that is the 5th W, whoa. And that's like a solid 8 to 9 out of 10 project. It blew you away, but there's some small details missing that stop it from being an absolutely wonderful and perfect, classic, flawless project. Then we got Wow, an impressive project, a solid 7 to 8 out of 10. And then we got the 4th W, which is weird. This album's like a 5 to 6 on 10. It had you feeling kind of weird the whole time. The album experience was filled with mixed emotions. Like, I'd give a For All the Dogs a weird rating. It wasn't bad per se, but it felt like Drake was way past his prime. It was bloated, sometimes boring, sometimes trying too hard to connect with the younger generation. It didn't leave you with that sensational feeling that a classic project would. Instead, you're kind of left in a weird spot, wondering what this mediocre album is going to do for this artist's legacy and where he's going to go next. Then we got Weak. This W represents albums that were just underwhelming, flat out. They weren't atrocious, but there were very few strong qualities. It's like a 3 on 10. Then the final W is going to be Whack. Now, there's no coming back from this album. No redeemable qualities. This is a horrible 0 on 10, not good project. Like a Big Day by Chance the Rapper. Now, with this ranking system, I'd say the Future falls somewhere between a weird and a wow with Mixtape Pluto. When I say weird, I don't mean this project was weird. Well, aside from the humming on Plutoski, but overall, it was just the feeling I got. There were moments that blew me away, but also moments that had me feeling like after 59 songs in the last 6 months, Future might be tired. And that's why I said earlier in this video that we owe him a hug. Like, the guy has been feeding us bangers non-stop for the greater portion of 2 decades. A lot of people are running with the narrative that Future's 40 years old, so he shouldn't be rapping about the type of subject matter he was speaking about 10 years ago. But it scares me to hear that type of criticism in excess, because it might encourage him to stop. Future has brought evolution and innovation through much more than just his subject matter. The melodies, pain in his crooning, the constant switch up of flows, going from tracks like Oath to then Lost My Dog, going from trap albums like Future, then R&B albums like Hendrix just 2 weeks later. We've never seen something like that from any rapper before, let alone a 40-year-old rapper 15 years into his career. So appreciate him while he's here, and while a little break is most definitely well-deserved at this point, and by me personally, also slightly desired, I think Pluto has shown us he's comfortable doing what he does best, and no one should try to mess with greatness. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Was this album overwhelming? Underwhelming? Where would you rank it on the scale of 6 W's? Did you do what I said and give Future a hug through your computer? You don't want to piss that guy off, man, because he'll steal your girl and start sleeping with her in his Gucci flip-flops. So watch how you criticize him, but with me, give me as much criticism as your heart desires. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know where I got it wrong here. Let me know what the future holds for Future. And let me know what the future holds for yourself. What are your goals, your aspirations? Where do you want to be in a year from now? And how many projects do you think Future is going to release in a year from now? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.